She was born in a time when the world seemed rigid and unforgiving, when the streets of Karachi were dusty and filled with the chatter of children and merchants, and the call to prayer floated gently over the rooftops. She came into a family that valued learning and discipline. Her father was a prosperous merchant, a man of vision, and her mother a quiet force of patience and care. From a young age, Fatima displayed a curiosity that was rare for girls of her era. She would watch her brother Muhammad Ali Jinnah with eyes wide and attentive, absorbing every conversation about law, politics, and the future of their land. She would sit beside him as he pored over books and letters, asking questions that often took adults by surprise. She loved learning, she loved reading, and she loved the sense that knowledge could be a tool of empowerment. She grew up in a house where words mattered and where the dreams of a family intertwined with the dreams of a nation as a young girl. She was playful yet serious. She had a gentle demeanor, but beneath that calm lay a fierce sense of justice. She could not bear to see unfairness, and she learned early that life would require courage if one wished to walk in truth. She attended school with determination, moving through lessons in languages, literature, and history, absorbing the tales of leaders, and thinkers who had shaped the world. She was aware of her position as a woman in a society that often limited dreams, but she never let those limits define her. She knew she had a voice, and she believed it could matter. As she grew older, the world around her began to change. Her brother, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, pursued law and politics, moving to Bombay and later to London to study. He often corresponded with her, sharing his hopes and concerns, and she became his confidant. She nursed him when he was ill and advised him when he faced difficult choices. She learned patience, sacrifice, and loyalty in ways few young women could understand. She married the responsibilities of family with the responsibilities of conscience, and she stood quietly, yet firmly in the background, supporting the man who would become the founder of Pakistan. She never sought power for herself, but she understood the weight of leadership. She understood that shaping a nation was not merely about laws and borders, but about the hearts and minds of people. When the struggle for independence grew fierce, Fatima was there, witnessing history in the making. She saw her brother argue and negotiate, fight and compromise, endure setbacks and celebrate victories. She learned that courage was not always loud. Sometimes it was measured in the steadfastness to remain true to one's principles even when the world seemed against you. She assisted refugees, families displaced by violence and poverty, offering comfort and aid. She visited hospitals and shelters, listening to stories of suffering and hope, and realizing that true leadership required empathy and compassion as much as strategy and intellect. After the creation of Pakistan in 1947, she continued to work quietly. She arranged meetings with officials and diplomats, guided social initiatives, and helped establish institutions that would benefit the new nation. She remained her brother's trusted advisor until his death in 1948, and in that moment of profound personal loss, she showed a resilience that few could imagine. Her grief was immense, but she channeled it into purpose. She understood that her brother's vision must continue, and that the country needed voices of integrity and courage more than ever. In the years that followed, Fatima Jinnah became increasingly aware of the challenges facing her nation. The early years of independence were fraught with political instability and social unrest. She realized that standing silently would not serve the people she cared for. She began to speak out more publicly, advocating for democratic principles, justice, and equality. She traveled across Pakistan, meeting citizens, listening to their concerns, and encouraging women to participate in civic life. She became a symbol of dignity and strength, a woman who had witnessed the birth of a nation and who now worked tirelessly to protect its soul. Her most remarkable act of courage came in 1965, when at the age of 70, she made the extraordinary decision to run for president against the military ruler Ayub Khan. She knew the risks she faced, threats and harassment were inevitable. Yet she believed that a nation's citizens deserved the right to choose their leadership freely and honestly. She campaigned across the country, speaking to thousands, inspiring women and men alike with her unwavering commitment to democracy. She reminded the people that integrity and courage were not bound by age or gender. She faced propaganda and opposition. Yet her message resonated with millions. Her presence on the political stage was not only historic for Pakistan, but globally remarkable as one of the first Muslim women to challenge an authoritarian regime in such a direct and visible way. Even though she did not win the presidency, her campaign became a beacon of hope and a statement of resilience. She proved that women could participate fully in political life, that moral authority and steadfastness mattered more than slogans, and her courage inspired generations of Pakistanis to believe in the possibility of fairness, accountability, and active citizenship. She remained a figure of respect and honor, never compromising her principles, never seeking personal gain. Her life was defined by service, compassion, and unwavering dedication to justice. As she grew older, Fatima Jinnah continued her work quietly. She supported education initiatives, health programs, and social welfare. She visited the poor, the sick, and the marginalized, offering her time, attention, and wisdom. She remained a moral compass for the nation and a living symbol of what it meant to stand for righteousness, even when doing so was difficult or unpopular. She nurtured the idea that true leadership required patience, listening, and courage. She became a mentor and an icon, teaching that character and principle mattered more than titles or recognition. In her final years, she faced illness and the weight of decades of service. She reflected on her life with humility, recognizing both the struggles and the triumphs she had witnessed. She often spoke of hope and resilience, reminding those around her that nations are built not only by laws, but by the hearts of people willing to believe in fairness and justice. She passed away in 1967, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire. She had lived a life of courage, compassion, and quiet determination. She had shaped a nation's conscience and reminded the world that women could be pillars of strength and vision without seeking the spotlight. Today, Fatima Jinnah is remembered not only as the sister of a nation's founder, but as a leader in her own right. A woman who bridged the personal and the political with grace and integrity, whose life story embodies the principles of courage, service, and dedication. Her journey from the streets of Karachi to the heights of national respect is a testament to the power of perseverance and moral conviction. She teaches that the true measure of greatness lies not in titles or power, but in steadfast devotion to what is right and just. Her story is a reminder that one life lived with purpose can touch the hearts of millions, and that courage often resides in quiet acts of loyalty, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to justice. She remains a shining example for all who seek to live with dignity, courage, and compassion, and her legacy continues to inspire those who dream of building a better, more just, and humane world.